Hey folks, and welcome back to the PHP series. Today we're going to explore a super important part of PHP, and those are superglobals. These are special variables that let your PHP scripts talk to forms, understand user input, and even learn about the environment that they are running in. Suppose the server, browser, or request method. So let's break down the most commonly used superglobals with real-world examples. First of all, what even are superglobals? Superglobals are built-in PHP variables that are always available anywhere in your code. They may be inside your code, that is inside functions or outside functions. And you don't need to declare them or pass them around. So think of them as PHP's global inboxes. They automatically receive information from users, browsers, forms, and server. Some of the most useful ones include the get superglobal. This grabs data from the URL, and post grabs data from the submitted forms, and server provides information about the server and requests. So let's get started with get and post first. Always remember, I have turned on my Apache server from XAMPP, and I have opened my PHP basics folder from htdocs inside the XAMPP folder in my local C drive, and this is index.php. Now, in order to show you a demo of the get and post method or the superglobals, first we will have to create an HTML file. Now, let's take a look at two ways a form can send data. One of them is get, and another is post. So first, we'll create an HTML file to demonstrate that. We'll name this index.html. Inside this, we'll write the boilerplate, and let's name the title of the document superglobals. Globals. Let me just make this big for you guys, and put this to the side, and then this to the side as well. So, first of all, superglobals. Now, inside the body, we'll create a form. Okay. So the form will have the method, and this will have the get method. As you can see, it auto completes, and the target, that is the action of this form, will be our index.php file. So this will send information to our index.php file. Now in our input fields, we'll put the type of text. Let's say we want to obtain the name of a person, so we'll say name colon, and then we'll put the type as text. Okay, so text, I'll close this, and then we'll put this name. It's essentially like giving it a key, so it's name. We'll close the tag, and we will put another input tag, and this will be like a submit button, so its type will be submit. Okay, now what will happen is when we load up this HTML through our localhost and enter our name and hit submit, this information, the name that we entered, will be sent through the get method to our PHP file, index.php file. So in our URL, it will contain, okay, I'll just show you guys. Okay, first of all, I'll say localhost, and instead of index.php, we'll open index.html. Now, as you can see, the name, this name is here, our input field is here. Let's say this has a placeholder as well, so it will prompt the user to please enter your name. Okay, and refresh. So please enter your name. Now I had tested this before as well, so I'll put my name here. Now I hit submit, and okay, for now we have been directed to our index.php page. Now if you have noticed, along with our localhost, our folder name, and our index.php, that is our file name, we have some more information. Now this is what you call a query string. Inside this query string, this is like sending data through our URL. So since we are using the get method, we will send our name, that is this name, through our URL, and this name will be the name that we enter in the text field. So I entered Swayam Raj Bhandari, so that is my name, and this will be sent through our URL. Now if we want to use this value in our PHP file, we can do it like this. First of all, we'll go to our PHP, and down here, and first we'll create a variable for our name. So let's say we make a variable called name equals, and here we will access this key value pair. So we'll do it by using our super global, that is $_get, and inside our square brackets we will put in the value of the key, so name. Now essentially Swayam Raj Bhandari, that is a name, is put inside this, okay, and after that we'll put a semicolon and then we will access that. So echo, let's say your name is, and then name. So save and then reload. So see, now suppose, okay, let's go back to our index.html file. Oh, I'm sorry, index.html. Okay, now if we enter here, let's say Sam, submit, your name is Sam. So that is how the get method works. The get method is great for things like search queries, filters, or bookmarks because the data is visible in the URL. So name equals Sam. Now let's talk about post. Post is a bit different from get. So if we put the method here as post and we go back to our index.html file and reload this, now let's type out Sam once again and see what happens. Oh, of course we have to use here post instead of get. So underscore post. Now if we submit this form, your name is Sam still appears, that is our value that was inputted into the input field is still being accessed through a key value pair type mechanism, that is through our post super global. But you might have noticed that the string does not contain any data that we entered. So unlike get, post hides the data from the URL, and that makes it the better choice for sensitive data like passwords, login forms, or private messages. So rule of thumb is use get when you're retrieving data, that is you want to retrieve or read data that is sent via the URL and the data isn't sensitive and you want the link to be shareable or bookmarkable. Those are the cases when you use get, but you should use post when you are submitting data. So that typically includes sensitive information and data that isn't or shouldn't be included in the URL. So those are how the get and post method work. Now after the get and post methods, let's talk about our another super global, that is server. Server is another powerful super global. It gives you access to the server info, request details, and more. And here are some useful examples. First of all, if we just type out echo $_server, oh, I meant to type server, and then inside our big braces or big brackets, if we type PHP _self and then close it, after we load our index.php, localhost index.php, it will show us our server info. So it will show us our current script folder and our current script name. We are running this script, that is this web page from index.php, so it will show it just that. Now if we use a request method, request underscore method, hit refresh, it outputs to post. Now along with this request method, I will type other server superglobal examples. So if we use echo and then underscore server, and then inside our server superglobal, let's turn on our caps lock. If we used http underscore user agent, we will see, or we'll get to see the browser info. So let's refresh this. Yes, see, so we get to see our browser info. And if we do echo, let's add a br tag here as well. So and okay, if we do $_server, and then if we do server name, it outputs to the host name of the server. So localhost, since we are using localhost, it will output to localhost, that is our server name. So these are useful for debugging, creating dynamic redirects, or detecting user devices. You'll often use server and request method to check how the user submitted the form, and that brings us to form validation. So let's talk about two really helpful functions you'll often use in validation. There is isSet. First of all, we'll write isSet. So isSet checks if a variable is declared and not null. So basically, if a variable is declared or it is not null, it returns true. So if isSet and then dollar underscore post, and then inside our brackets we use username, let's say it should output to user name is set, else it will say username, let me type out echo, and username is not set. So what do you think will happen? I think it will output to username is not set, because if you notice inside our HTML form, okay, let me just shorten this. If you notice inside our HTML form, we have not passed in anything called a username. Even when our string will load, our index.php will load, our query string will contain name equals and whatever the name we enter inside the form. So since our username is not set, this should output. Okay, let's first of all load index.html. The index.php page should output to username not set. So even if we pass it this, okay, seems like I missed semicolons. Okay, never mind that. It'll output to username is not set because we have not passed anything called a username. Now if we pass something called a username and then load up our HTML page once again and send in our username, it'll output to username is set because we have defined such a variable. So that is how you use the isSet method. And now as for empty checks if a variable has empty or a falsy value, like let's say an empty string or 0 or null, right? Null and false. So let's say we do make a username value, but we do not pass in anything. So instead of Sam, I don't enter anything, right? Now let's check if we'll create another if condition. If empty, and then we'll use $_post once again, and username. If our username value is empty, we'll say echo please enter your username, else let's say we will say username is set, not even username is set, let's say echo username is, and no, let's just echo out the username. So echo $_post and then a username, okay, and a semicolon. Now let's reload the page and try to submit nothing. So it will say please enter your username. Since we have not entered anything in our username parameter, key, so it returns a false or an empty value, right? So our empty function checks if the form field that we entered is empty or not, and if it is empty, it will echo out please enter your name. So if we pass in, let's say Sam, it will just output to Sam. But if we pass in an empty value, okay, for some reason it keeps loading, so it'll output to please enter your username. So that is basic form validation, right? And basic form validation is made easy by isSet and empty. So I hope you guys understand that. And that was it for today. Now you know how PHP receives input from the browser, whether it is from URLs, that is from our get method, or from forms, that is our post method, or server information, that is from our $_server variable or superglobal. So these superglobals are the foundation for creating interactive websites. In the next episode, we'll be going deeper into how PHP and MySQL can work together, and we'll work on PHP and MySQL integration. So if you found the video helpful or like the video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel so that you can stay updated on our videos. And until then, until the next episode, bye bye.